Welcome to TT-Buddhism, a channel dedicated to sharing the wisdom of Buddhism and its profound teachings. In today's fast-paced world, where stress, anxiety, and uncertainty often cloud our minds, many people seek a path to inner peace and enlightenment. Buddhism, one of the world's oldest spiritual traditions, offers timeless guidance on how to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. But what exactly is Buddhism? Is it just a religion, a philosophy, or a way of life? The term Buddhism comes from the word buddhi, which means to awaken or to be enlightened. It is a path that helps individuals cultivate wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness to overcome suffering and attain true happiness. Rooted in the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, this philosophy has guided millions of people for over 2,500 years, with around 380 million followers worldwide. Buddhism has expanded beyond its Eastern origins, touching lives across cultures and continents. In this video, we will explore the fundamental beliefs of Buddhism, its core teachings, and how it differs from other religions. We will also address common misconceptions, such as whether Buddhists worship idols, if Buddhism is compatible with science, and why there are different sects within Buddhism. By the end of this journey, you will gain a deeper understanding of this profound tradition and how its wisdom can be applied to modern life. If you find value in this content, we invite you to like, share, and subscribe to TT-Buddhism. Together, let's embark on a journey of self-discovery, mindfulness, and enlightenment. Let's begin. What is Buddhism? Buddhism is a spiritual tradition, a way of life, and a philosophy that guides individuals toward wisdom, inner peace, and enlightenment. The word Buddhism originates from buddhi, meaning to awaken or to be enlightened. Unlike many religions that focus on worshiping a deity, Buddhism centers on self-awareness, mindfulness, and understanding the nature of life. Buddhism was founded over 2,500 years ago by Siddhartha Gautama, later known as the Buddha, which means the enlightened one. Born into a royal family in ancient India, Siddhartha lived a life of luxury. However, upon witnessing suffering for the first time, he realized that wealth and comfort did not guarantee happiness. Determined to find the truth about suffering and its solution, he left his palace and embarked on a spiritual journey. After years of deep meditation and self-reflection, Siddhartha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at the age of 35. He discovered the Four Noble Truths, which explain the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. With profound wisdom and compassion, he spent the rest of his life teaching others how to overcome suffering and achieve inner peace. Today, Buddhism has approximately 380 million followers worldwide. While it originated in Asia, its teachings have spread across the globe, influencing people of various backgrounds. Buddhism is not about blind faith, but about personal experience and self-discovery. It encourages individuals to question, analyze, and apply its principles to their daily lives. Whether you view Buddhism as a religion, philosophy, or way of life, its core message remains the same. True happiness comes not from external possessions, but from inner wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. In the next section, we will explore whether Buddhism is a philosophy or a religion and how it differs from other spiritual traditions. Is Buddhism a philosophy or a religion? Buddhism is often described as both a philosophy and a religion, but which is it? To answer this question, we must first define what philosophy and religion mean. The word philosophy comes from the Greek words philo, love, and sophia, wisdom, meaning love of wisdom. Philosophy seeks to understand life, existence, and the nature of reality through reasoning and analysis. Buddhism aligns with this definition because it encourages deep reflection, logical thinking, and self-inquiry. The Buddha himself urged his followers not to accept his teachings blindly, but to test them through experience and critical thinking. On the other hand, religion is often associated with faith in a divine being, sacred texts, and spiritual practices. While Buddhism has rituals, traditions, and sacred scriptures, it does not involve worshiping a creator god. Instead, it focuses on self-transformation, ethical living, and the pursuit of enlightenment. What makes Buddhism unique is that it does not demand blind faith. It teaches that each person has the ability to attain wisdom and liberation through their own efforts. Unlike many religions, which emphasize devotion to a deity, Buddhism emphasizes self-awareness, meditation, and understanding the causes of suffering. So, is Buddhism a philosophy or a religion? The answer depends on how one approaches it. Some follow Buddhism as a spiritual path, engaging in rituals and temple practices, while others see it as a practical philosophy for mindful and ethical living. Regardless of how it is classified, the core message remains the same: to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. In the next section, we will explore the life of the Buddha and how his journey to enlightenment shaped the foundation of Buddhism. The life and enlightenment of the Buddha. The story of Siddhartha Gautama, who later became the Buddha, is one of transformation and profound wisdom. He was born around 623 BCE into a royal family in ancient India. As a prince, he was surrounded by luxury and comfort, shielded from the realities of suffering. However, as he grew older, he encountered 4 sights that changed his life: an old man, a sick man, a dead man, and a wandering ascetic. These experiences revealed to him the universal nature of suffering and the impermanence of life. Determined to find a solution to suffering, Siddhartha left his palace at the age of 29, leaving behind his royal status, wife, and son. He sought wisdom from the greatest spiritual teachers of his time and practiced extreme asceticism, believing that self-denial would lead to enlightenment. However, after years of intense hardship, he realized that neither indulgence nor self-mortification could provide the answers he was seeking. Instead, he embraced the middle way, a balanced path between excess and deprivation. At the age of 35, Siddhartha sat in deep meditation under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya. After days of intense concentration, he attained enlightenment, understanding the true nature of suffering and the path to liberation. He became the Buddha, the enlightened one. From that moment, he dedicated his life to teaching others what he had realized. For the next 45 years, the Buddha traveled across northern India, sharing his wisdom with people of all backgrounds. He taught that enlightenment was attainable for anyone, regardless of status or wealth. His teachings focused on wisdom, compassion, and self-liberation, laid the foundation for what we now know as Buddhism. In the next section, we will explore the core beliefs of Buddhism, including the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Core beliefs of Buddhism: the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. At the heart of Buddha's teachings lies the 4 Noble Truths, a profound realization that the Buddha attained upon enlightenment. He observed that suffering is an undeniable part of life, whether through illness, loss, or dissatisfaction. However, suffering is not without cause. It arises from craving, attachment, and ignorance, as people constantly desire wealth, power, relationships, and even immortality, only to find themselves trapped in an endless cycle of dissatisfaction. Yet, the Buddha also taught that suffering is not permanent. It can be overcome by eliminating its root causes. The path to liberation is not found in extreme indulgence or self-denial, but through the Eightfold Path, a practical guide to leading a mindful and balanced life. The Eightfold Path is not a set of rigid rules, but a way of cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. It begins with right view, which means seeing life clearly, free from illusion. This understanding leads to right intention, developing thoughts of kindness and renunciation. With a pure mind, one naturally practices right speech, avoiding lies, harmful words, and gossip. This extends to right action, living ethically and refraining from harming others, and right livelihood, ensuring one's means of earning do not cause suffering. However, simply knowing the path is not enough. It requires right effort, the constant practice of replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. To truly walk this path, one must develop right mindfulness, maintaining awareness of thoughts, emotions, and actions in every moment. Finally, through right concentration, one cultivates deep meditation, achieving a state of inner peace and clarity. By following the Eightfold Path, individuals can free themselves from suffering and attain wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. This path is not limited to monks or scholars, but is accessible to anyone seeking a meaningful and enlightened way of life. In the next section, we will address common misconceptions about Buddhism and clarify what Buddhists truly believe. Common misconceptions about Buddhism. Despite its long history and global influence, Buddhism is often misunderstood. Many people assume that Buddhists worship the Buddha as a god, but this is not true. The Buddha never claimed to be a deity, a prophet, or a divine messenger. Instead, he was a human being who attained enlightenment through his own efforts, and taught that anyone can achieve the same. When Buddhists bow before a Buddha statue, they are not praying to a supernatural being, but expressing respect for his wisdom and teachings. The statue serves as a reminder to cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and inner peace, rather than an object of worship. Another common misconception is that Buddhism is a pessimistic or passive philosophy because it acknowledges suffering. In reality, Buddhism does not dwell on suffering, but offers a clear and practical path to overcoming it. The teachings focus on self-awareness, ethical living, and mental discipline, encouraging individuals to take responsibility for their own happiness. Instead of waiting for external salvation, Buddhists believe in personal transformation and inner strength. Some also believe that all Buddhist practices, such as burning incense or making offerings, are forms of superstition. While certain cultural traditions have influenced Buddhist practices, these rituals are not the core of Buddhism. The essence of Buddhism lies in understanding reality, cultivating wisdom, and practicing compassion, not in performing rituals for divine favor. Finally, some think that Buddhism is only for monks or the elderly. In truth, Buddhist principles apply to everyone, regardless of age or background. Anyone can integrate mindfulness, kindness, and ethical living into their daily life. In the next section, we will explore the relationship between Buddhism and science, examining how Buddhist principles align with modern scientific thought. Buddhism and science. Are they compatible? One of the most fascinating aspects of Buddhism is its compatibility with modern science. Unlike many religious traditions that rely on divine authority, Buddhism encourages rational inquiry, self-examination, and empirical observation. The Buddha himself advised his followers not to accept teachings blindly, but to test them through personal experience and reasoning. This scientific approach aligns closely with the principles of modern research, where ideas are questioned, tested, and refined through observation. A core Buddhist teaching that resonates with science is impermanence, the idea that all things are constantly changing. This aligns with the scientific understanding of the universe, where nothing remains static, from subatomic particles to galaxies. Similarly, the concept of dependent origination, which explains how all things arise due to interconnected causes and conditions, mirrors the cause and effect relationships studied in physics, biology, and psychology. Furthermore, mindfulness and meditation, central to Buddhist practice, have gained widespread recognition in neuroscience and psychology. Studies have shown that meditation can rewire the brain, improve mental health, and enhance cognitive function. Mindfulness practices, originally rooted in Buddhism, are now widely used in medical and therapeutic settings to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. Another key parallel between Buddhism and science is the rejection of absolute truths based on faith alone. Buddhism teaches that knowledge should be continuously refined through direct experience, much like how scientific theories evolve based on new discoveries. Albert Einstein once remarked that if there is any religion that aligns with modern science, it is Buddhism. While Buddhism and science may differ in certain metaphysical aspects, they share a common commitment to understanding reality through observation, logic, and personal experience. In the next section, we will explore why Buddhist teachings remain relevant in today's modern world. Why should we learn from Buddhism? In today's fast-paced and stressful world, many people struggle with anxiety, dissatisfaction, and an endless pursuit of material success. While technological advancements have improved our quality of life, they have not necessarily made us happier. This is where Buddhism offers valuable insights, guiding us to find lasting peace and fulfillment, not through external achievements, but through inner transformation. One of the most important lessons Buddhism teaches is the impermanence of life. Everything around us, our possessions, relationships, and even our own thoughts and emotions, is constantly changing. Clinging to what is temporary only leads to suffering. By understanding this, we learn to appreciate the present moment and let go of unnecessary worries about the past and future. Buddhism also emphasizes self-awareness and mindfulness, helping individuals develop a deeper connection with themselves and the world around them. The practice of meditation trains the mind to be still, clear, and focused, reducing stress and increasing emotional resilience. Scientific studies have shown that mindfulness improves mental health, enhances concentration, and fosters overall well-being. Another crucial aspect of Buddhist teachings is compassion and kindness. In a world often driven by competition and self-interest, practicing empathy can create stronger relationships and a more harmonious society. Buddhism teaches that true happiness comes not from taking, but from giving, and that by helping others, we cultivate joy within ourselves. Ultimately, Buddhism is not about religious devotion, but about practical wisdom for everyday life. It encourages us to live ethically, think critically, and cultivate inner peace. Whether one follows Buddhism as a spiritual path or simply applies its teachings to daily life, its wisdom remains timeless and universally relevant. In the next section, we will express our gratitude to our viewers and share how TT-Buddhism continues to spread these valuable teachings. As we reach the end of this journey through the core teachings of Buddhism, we hope this exploration has provided clarity and insight into what Buddhism truly represents. Buddhism is not just a religion, but a path to self-discovery, wisdom, and inner peace. It teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life, but also provides practical methods to overcome it through mindfulness, ethical living, and self-awareness. Whether one chooses to follow Buddhism as a spiritual practice, or simply applies its principles to daily life, its wisdom remains timeless and universally relevant. At TT-Buddhism, our mission is to share these valuable teachings in a way that is accessible and meaningful. We believe that in today's world, where people often feel overwhelmed by stress, uncertainty, and material desires, the wisdom of the Buddha serves as a guiding light, helping individuals cultivate compassion, resilience, and true happiness. Through storytelling, philosophical discussions, and practical insights, we aim to bring the essence of Buddhism closer to you, regardless of your background or beliefs. We sincerely thank you for taking the time to watch, learn, and reflect with us. Your support, engagement, and willingness to explore these teachings mean a great deal to us. If you found this video insightful, we invite you to like, share, and subscribe to TT-Buddhism so we can continue to grow this community of mindfulness and wisdom together. May you always walk the path of peace, clarity, and enlightenment. Remember, happiness is not something to be found outside, but cultivated from within. Thank you for being part of this journey, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.